Are you using the marketing tactic that more than 90% of marketers say is effective? A lot has changed in the marketing world over the years, but one thing businesses are still doing is using well-known public figures to endorse their brands, known today as influencer marketing. Well, you don't need a major celebrity like myself to have a successful influencer marketing strategy. You can see results by partnering with trusted influencers of all audience sizes, not just major movie stars or millionaire content creators. But what exactly is social media influencer marketing? A social media influencer is a content creator who posts about topics in a specific industry and has a dedicated, engaged social following. When you think of influencers, the first people who come to mind are probably people on Instagram or TikTok who promote something like beauty products or fashion accessories. Don't let this stereotype scare you away. Influencers cover all types of topics. A finance expert on LinkedIn who regularly posts about financial planning content for their dedicated 10,000 followers, that's an influencer. A home inspector who shares their home horror stories with their 8,000 TikTok followers, that's an influencer. No matter what type of content they create, when an influencer says good things about you to their audience they've built relationships with, people will take their opinions seriously. I mean, they're called influencers because they influence people to make certain decisions. Influencers use many different social media platforms and cover an expansive list of topics. The question is, what kind of influencer is right for your business? Well, that's for you or your digital marketing agency to determine. Let me talk about some regulations before we get to the steps on how to find your ideal marketing influencer. Before you get too deep into influencer marketing, it's important to know that there are laws surrounding influencer disclosure enforced by the Federal Trade Commission, or the FTC. If an influencer partners with you to promote a product or service, they have to disclose that publicly. There are different ways to do that, and you should follow the FTC's guidelines when developing your partnership. It is not a good look for your brand if you get caught up in an FTC investigation, so make sure the influencers you partner with know the laws about disclosure as well. Now, let's get to the fun stuff. We've gone over the brand influencer basics, so let's talk about how to get started with influencer advertising. There are a few basic steps you'll want to follow, beginning with goal setting. Like with most things in the world of business, the first thing you should do is set your goals for your influencer campaigns. Obviously, the main goal of influencer marketing is to gain new customers, but you also need to come up with some more specific goals. For example, what type of audience do you want to reach? During this step, consider setting some SMART goals. SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. For example, maybe you decide you want a campaign to drive a certain amount of phone calls in a certain amount of time. 2. Draw up a list of influencers. Once you know your goals for the campaign, it makes it easier for you to pick the right influencer. To help you narrow down that list, start by deciding what platform you want to focus on. Instagram? LinkedIn? Maybe TikTok? There's not one straight answer to what platform or platforms you need. It depends where your audience spends their time. When you figure that out, look at your chosen platform for influencers in your industry. So if you're a tech company and you choose to focus on Twitter, you already know you're looking for a Twitter tech influencer. Great! You can then use tools like Creator IQ and BuzzSumo to help you find influencers online. I should also emphasize that you need to do your due diligence. Before making a deal or even finalizing your list, do a little research to make sure the influencers you partner with haven't gotten themselves into hot water, or they haven't posted anything that goes against your company values. That would not be a good look for your brand at all. From there, you can start narrowing down the list more by picking the influencers you think you prefer to work with. If you're a small business, you'll probably want to partner with a micro-influencer. That's an influencer with anywhere between 1,000 and 100,000 followers. Micro-influencers might have a smaller audience, but they still get plenty of engagement, which is what matters most in the end. 79% of people who follow micro-influencers will search for more information about the products they recommend. That means a micro-influencer is a great choice to partner with. Once you've got your list narrowed down to a handful of options, it's time to move on to the next step. Number 3, do some outreach. You might know which influencers you'd like to work with, but you don't know which of them want to work with you. Now it's time to reach out to those influencers and see who's willing to form a partnership. You might want to take things slow by simply engaging with those influencers in small ways on social media, like liking their posts, leaving an occasional comment, stuff like that. After a while, you can work your way up to sending them a direct message or contacting them another way with your partnership offer. Make sure your communication is respectful, clear, and appreciative. It should communicate what the influencer will get from the partnership and how it will fit with their existing brand. Also, be mindful of whether the person you're contacting likes the title influencer. They may prefer content creator or something else. You can probably figure this out by looking at their bio. Number 4, create and launch your campaigns. Once you've found an influencer who's excited to work with you, it's time to create and launch a campaign. But unlike other types of marketing, you shouldn't expect complete creative control with influencer campaigns. You can obviously give some basic guidelines and expectations of what kind of promotion you're looking for, maybe even provide some creative assets. But the influencer is in the driver's seat here. It's their audience you're looking to reach, and they have their own standards. Assuming you pick the right influencer, they'll know what they're doing and they can help you bring in a lot of new leads. That's the most important information to know if you're wanting to get into influencer marketing. But if you're interested in learning more about digital marketing, just subscribe to our YouTube channel or our email newsletter. We're always putting out helpful new videos and articles you can check out. For now though, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.